Hello, thank you for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, using the Gilded Tarot Royale by Ciro Marchetti, text by Barbara Moore. There's the box if you want to see it, and I know the website's here. I think it's at the bottom. If I could read it. Llewellyn, I think. Llewellyn.com. There's a couple other socials there if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. Spellcasting Oracle cards by Barbara, Flavia, and Lisbeth. There, you get their full names on there. That way, if you want to see how they're spelt. And then there's website for them, a couple websites actually. She Who Is Art is what pops out to me, but if anything else there, makes you interested, go ahead and go for it, of course. And finally, the dice I'm using, most of them come from the dice shop, I think. mathartfun.com, and then there's this Tom Anders. I have a 21-sided dice, which does omit the Fool, but that's what I use for the major arcana, and then I got a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana and a 4-sided dice for the element of the minor arcana. And there's the information if you want it. There's also this part. I almost forgot to show that. If that's something you're interested in, if you want to use that, go ahead and use that if you want to follow that down. All right. And with that being said, if you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. This is James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again, and over to your reading. Hello, Pisces. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for when you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Pisces? Okay, we like that. Got a lot of things popping in. Okay, and I don't know if you saw it, but I did. You got the star card at the bottom here popping up in your favor. You also have Judgment popping up in your favor, so let's see where this is going. I feel like I'm spoiling it a little bit, but maybe not that bad. Okay, so what are we going towards is a great question. Influence from the past. All right. Influence from the past. The Emperor half in, half out, and then the Two of Pentacles kind of half in, half out too. This influence from the past is like somebody I feel like you've dealt with or worked with in the past. I'm willing to say you don't currently, but it's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt. Whoever this person was, I feel like they were easy to get along with, but when push came to shove, they definitely made sure they got what they wanted. And you might have gotten something from it, but you knew that you were a second thought. So it's kind of like somebody in the past that you helped, expecting them to look out for you. And maybe they kind of did, but you kind of realized that it was kind of like a secondary thought, like, well, I guess I can, so I guess I will. It wasn't really priority for them to make sure things worked out for you. Okay, so you've moved on from that. So I feel like we're kind of seeing another situation with somebody like this. Could be the same person, not likely, but possible. It's a general read again. This is where Judgment goes in your favor, because I feel like I already know how this game is played now. I've seen it played at least one other time. And I see somebody wanting my help, but I also kind of don't feel like they're going to back me if I need them to back me. So it's kind of like, all right, they want my help. They want me to do some things for them, but I also feel like they're going to slip out the back door before it's even noticed. And I have to be careful not to get attached to this. I realize that I have to see this for what it is going in. This kind of reminds me of something in my own life where I remember I first met somebody, and I remember my first inkling was like, this is not a good idea. And I was pretty good with it for a couple weeks, and then after that, I started warming up to them, and lo and behold, sooner or later, things went where I knew they were going to go. And I feel like this is one of those moments, and I feel like this is what they're trying to highlight for you. You're getting that heads up. You're coming around to that energy again, but somebody that's kind of friendly, somebody you can be friends with, but you always got to remember this person, when push comes to shove, is actually not going to have your back. If it's of any substance, they're not really going to have your back. They can be a friend, but it's kind of like, see the friendship for what it is. That's, I feel like, where we're trying to set this up, because this can go to your benefit. This can be good for you if you have proper context, if you see where it is to start with. It's happened more than once in my life, and I know I say this and it's obnoxious, but it's true. I'm Pisces. It has happened more than once in my life where I meet somebody and I get that first inkling, and I'm like, I know this isn't a good idea, or I know I should stay away from them, or I try to be like, I'm kind of like, I don't want to be that person, but I feel like I just don't like something here. There's just something here that's not for me, and I get that inkling with people that like I'm gonna warm up to. I get that inkling with people that I'm gonna want to get to know, and it's like my intuition is warning me, this isn't a good idea. And at this point in my life, I'm almost 50. I'd like to think that I'm getting a little bit more wise with that. I'd like to think that I'm kind of like listening a little bit better. So this is hopefully a reading for you that you're kind of like, you know what, I do have the inkling about somebody. How do I make sure that I keep honoring that without creating damage? Because I feel like you can be friends, but you always got to watch your back. You always have to be realizing like this friendship is skin deep. As long as they're in front of you and you can see what they're doing, you can probably trust them that far, but that's about it. Once they're out of sight, all bets are off. That energy is here now. There's a random feeling with this energy going back and forth. They don't know if you're of worth to them yet, and I feel like they're trying to figure it out. Okay, can we get a little bit more about that? Oh, the Devil. And then the Ten of Cups, half in, half out. They only let people around them that they feel like they can invest in, somebody who will do something for them later. Whether it be like I don't know. The Ten of Cups, half in, half out, is like loyalty is questionable. If they feel like there's a possibility you will keep returning and keep looking out for them and keep doing for them, they'll probably keep looking out for you. But unless they're really sure that that's going to work to their favor, more for them, less for you, seriously, like they're only going to back you if they think like they'll get $100 out of it and you'll get 50. So you know what I mean? It's always going to work more to their advantage than your advantage. That's what they're looking for. It always has to go more to their benefit than your benefit. If you benefit more than them, they don't like that. The Devil card is there. It shows up in the cards itself, but it's showing up on the dice now. So there's a moment coming up. Somebody gets stuck. The Knight of Cups, half in, half out, and then the Strength card reversed. So somebody gets stuck here. I feel like it's the same person we're talking about. They get stuck. They need somebody to help them move forward. That Wheel of Fortune is right here. You have influence on this Wheel of Fortune. What I'm getting for this is you seem to have the influence to either leave it and let it stay stuck, or you can kind of nudge it and let it move, and let it kind of spin and see what happens. By nudging it and seeing what happens, that's you getting involved in this. Whatever they're stuck with, when you get involved, if you get involved, that's you spinning the wheel. It's the Wheel of Fortune. It's the Wheel of Fortune, and I don't feel like this fortune's going to go so well. It's kind of like 9 out of 10 of these spots are not good for you. One of them is, but it's not very likely that's going to hit for you. The advice here is to like let it be. When they get stuck and they're trying to get you to help them, let it be and just kind of like just tell them I can't do it. They're going to be very upset with you. It's going to bother you that they're upset with you, but it's for the best. It's hard to do. I'm saying this as a Pisces. I feel like it's going to be very difficult. Usually it's very difficult, especially if you want this person to like you. It's going to be a hard one to do. Are we sure? Okay, so what So then I feel like they're saying just kind of like step back and watch and go along your own path. Yeah, be careful what you say at this time too. Three of Cups and the Star card, half in, half out. There's going to be, let somebody else do this. Let somebody else do this. You're not trapped in this situation. You don't have to be trapped in that situation. Let it be. Step back. Let somebody else fix it. Let somebody else handle it. Go on to do something else. The easiest way to not have to deal with it is to get yourself tied up in something else. Go help somebody else. Go get involved in something else. Just tell them you don't have the time. You can't go near it. You can't help them right now. Let them find their own help. Don't advise them with anybody else. Don't suggest anybody else. Let them find their own help. And just get your own stuff doing. Go do what you need to do. Go do something else. Get yourself involved in something else. Because what I get is like, it's going to work out the way it needs to work out. And I feel like that moment will actually detach you from this person. Again, if for the Pisces energy, you're going to want, if you want them to like you, if you do, it might be hard because you realize that this person's going to move away from you because of it. But remember, if this reading is hitting and you had that inkling in the beginning, kind of like this is not a good idea for you, let it go. Let it go, because you'll see it from a distance what's going to happen next. Well, this is for them. Okay, so if you step back and you just let it go, what will you see from a distance? All right, let's go there. Ace of Swords, half in, half out, and then the Wheel of Fortune happens again. This person is problematic. I feel like you're going to see that there's a cycle here. They just keep going through these Wheel of Fortune moments over and over and over again. Pisces usually isn't a fan of that. Pisces doesn't usually like the uncertainty or having to deal with these problems over and over again. That's usually very stressful and really difficult for Pisces. Some Pisces can handle it. I really don't know of one that really enjoys it, but sometimes for some Pisces it kind of holds us down and it makes things really heavy and very depressing. So in that, it's like it makes it very difficult to feel comfortable. If you step back from a distance, you'll see it. It just keeps going. Especially if you're at a distance and you're not in the middle of it and you're just seeing it play out over and over and over again, you're going to realize it was the better decision for you to not be in the middle of it. Now, what are we dealing with over here? Because you got a lot of good cards coming in. The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune again for you, and this time the Five of Fire, half in, half out. By you going towards what you want and getting involved in your own things, you start a new project, and there's more information coming. By going this other direction and not getting involved in their issue, but getting yourself involved in something else to keep you away from it, which may sound interesting because that's the whole purpose of you getting involved in this other thing, is to get away from this other thing with a viable excuse like, oh, I got this other thing going on, I can't help you, I'm sorry. By getting involved in this other thing, that leads to a lot of other opportunities, which is very... Ironically, you're going to see this card and not think it's good, but Pisces can get along with this card. You got the Devil, the Ten of Pentacles, and you got the Man holding a coin. Now, the reason I say that Pisces can get along with the Devil is because the Devil sometimes talks about Capricorns. Capricorns and Pisces can get along. In fact, they can get along quite well as long as Pisces realizes it's Capricorn's show and you got to go by Capricorn's rules. And if you break Capricorn's rules, they will be very brutal about that usually, and they will not be forgiving, and they will probably not forget. I feel like when Pisces sees it for what it is, Pisces is fine. There's a lot of bounty here. There's a lot of good things coming out of this, but there's also a lot of rules, and there's a lot of boundaries. I keep saying boundaries, like something else with boundaries. There's something bigger coming in. I feel like there's something bigger coming in with this. Whatever you end up getting involved in, it does take your time. You can't get away from it, but it's going to serve you a lot better. You might get kind of stuck in it. Be careful. Be careful how deep you want to go with this one as well. This one is more loyal in a positive way. This one feels more like this is somebody who, like, they will look out for you, but the more they look out for you, the more they feel like you owe them loyalty. Keep that in mind. So the more they look out for you, the more they're going to feel like you owe them loyalty because they look out for you. So, for example, if you work with this person and they're a manager of yours, for example, they'll look out for you. They'll bend over backwards for you. But the more they do that, the more they expect you to stay where they want you and to keep working with them, in this connection the way they want. Unless they tell you they want you to move forward, they don't expect you to move forward. Like, they really expect loyalty. So keep that in mind. That's interesting. That's an interesting twist. It is judgment in your favor. Did I mention that in the beginning? I think I did. So that is judgment in your favor. That's better than this other situation. That one at the end is very loyalty, but it almost demands it in return. Again, it's the devil energy. If you break that loyalty, swift and severe consequences, and they do not forget. Keep that in mind. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.